Good afternoon, everyone. This is Michigan Park Christian Church. This is our noon Bible study. Glad that you could be with us today. Right now, we're just passing out the notes. We're going to be covering Numbers chapter 21. Numbers chapter 21. 20, Numbers chapter 21. Yes, 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 yes. So if everyone can get their Bibles out, Numbers chapter, go back. Chapter 21, verse 1. All right, before we start, let's do a little recap. And we'll start with the Promised Land. Okay, we'll Promised Land. God had led them from Mount Sinai through the wilderness to the Promised Land. There were some bumps in the road. You know, the people hungry, thirsty, all kinds of stuff, and God had provided for them. All right, now they're at the foot of the Promised Land. The people were a little nervous. They asked Moses if they could send in some spies to check the land out before they went in. Right? Moses, being the diligent servant of God he always is, checked with God. God said, go ahead and send the spies in. So they sent 12 spies, one from each tribe. Right? The 12 spies go in. They spend 40 days and check out the land. They come back, all 12 spies agree. This was some good land. It was the Promised Land. It was the land flowing with milk and honey. 10 of the spies suggested that there was too many enemies in the land, that they should not try to go in and take the land.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. That was 10 of the spies. 2 of the spies said, hey, we got God with us. We can go and take the land. Right? The 10 spies convinced the church, the nation of Israel. So the nation of Israel decided, they in their own minds, we are not going to go into the land. It's too dangerous. It's too terrible. We're not going to be able to do it. We're not going to be able to do it. They decided not to go. At that point, God got very angry, because not only do they say they not going to go, they say they want to go back to Egypt. Right? They talk about total overthrow. We're going to overthrow Moses and Aaron. We're going to elect new leaders, and we're going to go back to Egypt. God got so angry, he told Moses, I want to strike all of them dead. And I'm going to create another great nation with you. Of course, Moses intervened, said, Lord, it won't look right. It won't look right to other folks. It's not right. Give us more chances. Give us another chances. Okay. So God came up with another plan, right? The other plan was for them to go back into the wilderness and camp out in the wilderness. Moses told, part of the plan was that the old generation was going to die out, and God would bring the new generation into the Promised Land. The folks, the nation of Israel, did not like that new plan. Moses told them the plan. They slept on it. They got up early in the morning, and they decided that they were going to go over into the Promised Land anyway. Now, first they decided, no, we weren't going to go. God got angry. Moses talked him down off his anger. Then they were going to, after Moses tells them this is the new plan, this is God's new plan, they go against the new plan. They say, no, we like the old plan better. That's how we are. We want options, right? We want options. We want to pick the best options. With God, you only get one option. His way or no way, right? Okay. They go over into the new land without God. God don't go with them. The Canaanites and the Amalekites are waiting for them. And the Bible says they beat them back to someplace in the wilderness, Hormah. All right. So now they're in the wilderness and they are traveling. They're still following God. God is still leading them, right? When God stops, they stop. When God moves, they move. Okay. They get to, what's the country that wouldn't allow them in? Edom? Yeah, they get to Edom. They say, hey, we want to come through your country, right? You are kin to us. I mean, somewhere it says, they are a brother nation, right? You kin to us, but we just passing through. Edom said, absolutely not. Can you come through? They said, hey, well, you know what? We won't touch nothing. We won't do nothing. We just want to go through. No. Okay? We'll pay you. We'll buy some stuff on the way through, get your economy going. We'll be a boost and all this stuff because we just need to go through. Edom said, no. Sent their armies up to the border. Israel turned around to go the long way, right? Now, we surmise that Edom may have been jealous, may have been holding grudges, generational grudges. They may have been descendants of Esau. That Esau stole the blessing from Isaac. Jacob stole the blessing from Isaac. They were getting the promised land. Edom was not getting the promised land. Maybe some generational grudges. I did some investigation. I really couldn't find any evidence of that, but it sounds right. Okay. So they're going a long way. And now we are here at chapter 21, right? Oh, I didn't tell you, we didn't talk about the rock, right? They were in the desert. Yeah, to recap. They were in the desert. If not the same desert that they went through when they came. A similar desert. And you heard the same complaints. We don't have no water. Why'd you bring us to the desert to die? We shouldn't have left Egypt. Same complaint. Same complaint. God tells Moses, speak to the rock and get the people to water. Right? Moses is a little frustrated. He strikes the rock twice. The water comes out. The people get the water. The people, it's no problem for them. They wanted water. Water was provided. They happy. God is not happy. Moses did not do what he was told to do. Moses and Aaron were told they would not make it into the promised land because they didn't do it the way God said do it. Right? Punishment for not doing it the way God says doing it. We're seeing that when you don't follow the will of God, God makes another plan. But the plan is not the best way to do it. There is punishment involved in the plan. These people are wandering the wilderness for another 38, 40 years because they did not go in the promised land when they had the opportunity. God said, hey, it's time to go. They're like, no, we don't want to go. Right? The will of God will be done. He just has to make another plan to do it. Because we don't follow plan one. You know, everybody got these plans, you know, oh, okay, this is my A plan, this is my plan B, this is my plan C. Well, God has to make plan B and C for us because we don't follow plan A all the time. We don't do it all the time. All right. So Moses don't go into the promised land. They get to a spot. Aaron, one of the leaders, he passes away. Miriam, the sister, she's one of the leaders. She passed away. Yeah. Okay. They on the move. This is when Edom says, no, you can't come through. So they take it the long way around. All right. That's the end of the recap. All right. Let's go to Numbers chapter 21. Let's read Numbers chapter 21, verses 1 through 3.
The king of Arad, the Canaanite, who dwelt in the south, heard that Israel was coming on the road to Atharim. Then he fought against Israel and took some of them prisoners. So Israel made a vow to the Lord and said, if you will indeed deliver this people into my hand, then I will utterly destroy their cities. And the Lord listened to the voice of Israel and delivered up the Canaanites, and they utterly destroyed them and their cities. So the name of that place was called Hormah.
Okay. Hormah, according to my Bible, means destruction, right? Now, if you remember, Hormah was where the Canaanites, when Israel tried to go into the promised land without God, got run off to, right? So now Hormah is where the Israelites get their quote-unquote revenge, okay? Because the Israelites had been defeated by the Canaanites and the Amorites. The Canaanites were still hunting them, right? They had run away. They got, some of them got killed, and the other ones ran back to the group. The Canaanites were still hunting them. We want to get these guys. The Canaanites, we spoke about this earlier, the Canaanites are not afraid of the Israelites anymore. Whatever fear they had, they're over it. They beat them in battle before. They hunting them down. God is not with you. We hunt you down. So what did the Israelites do? They turned back to God and said, God, some of our people are over there. You give us the power to go in there and get them. We promise that we will take them completely out, destroy all their cities. God said, well, okay, you came to, look, first off, God loves the fact that in times of need, you turn to him. He loves that. You go to him. They didn't say they talked to Moses. Wait a minute, let me see. Let me make sure. My Bible doesn't say they went to Moses.
Moses is dead.
Not yet. Aaron's dead. Miriam's dead.
Okay.
Moses can't go into the promised land. All right. But it doesn't say they went to Moses. It says, let me see. Then Israel made this vow to the Lord. The whole nation came together. When everybody comes together and of one mind, the Lord listens, and they came together and made a vow, if you, Lord God, would deliver these people to our hands, we will promise to do this. Lord said, I like that. Y'all came to me, everybody's together. Let's do it. So he delivered the Canaanites over to them, and they completely destroyed them, their towns, so the place was named Horah. Right? Totally different than the two battles they had before. Right? The first battle they had with the Canaanites killed a few, ran the other few off. The second battle, the Canaanites captured some of them. This is the third battle. The Canaanites were utterly destroyed because why? They went to God and made a vow with God, made a deal, another covenant. If you do this, we will do this. Right. Now, God is usually the one trying to make the covenant. Hey, if you'll be my people, I'll be your God. If you will do this, I will do that. He's making the deal. This time the people go to God and say, we want to make the deal. Right? We want to take these Canaanites completely out. If you will give us the Canaanites, we're going to follow you, Lord. Oh, gosh, we vow that we take all of them out. There won't be none of them left standing. We'll blow their cities up and everything. Blowing the cities up represents killing the culture. You know what I'm saying? No museums, no nothing. Everything is leveled. Kill the whole culture. We want to take it out. And the Lord gave it to them. All right, but this is not over. Let's continue reading. Okay, let's continue. Let's just read verses 4 and 5 because I am still amazed at the density that God's people was having. I'm still amazed. Now, they just asked God for something, made a deal with God, and God said, yeah, cool. All right. Verse 4 and 5. Let's just read verse 4 and 5. Who wants to read?
All right, I'll read it.
Okay.
Then the people of Israel set out from Mount Hor, taking the road to the Red Sea to go around the land of Edom. But the people grew impatient with the long journey, and they began to speak against God and Moses. Why have you brought us out of Egypt, down here in the wilderness? They complained. There is nothing to eat here and nothing to drink, and we hate this horrible manna.
Still complaining. Still complaining. Right? The first time they complain, some get killed. Second time they complain, others get killed. You know what I'm saying? They still complaining. This is verse 4 and 5 in chapter 21. We're in chapter 21. They are complaining. They are in the wilderness, and look, this is the reality. They had come through the wilderness to get to the promised land, so they knew the wilderness was the wilderness. They complained all the way through the wilderness to get to the promised land. They decided they wasn't going to go into the land of milk and honey because, they trusted their eyes and the reports of their eyes instead of faith in God, right? God sent them back to the wilderness. They are complaining. They know how hard the wilderness is, and they're complaining about the wilderness. And God has already told them that most of them are going to die out anyway. You're going to be in the wilderness until you die. And so this is what they do. They complain. Bring me here to die. I got to die in the wilderness. I could have died in Egypt. I could have stayed in Egypt, been a slave, and died. Yes, ma'am.
And then sometimes people make promise to God, Lord, if you get me out of this, I will never.
Oh, yeah. Oh, don't we do that? Don't we do that? That's the people.
They get out of it.
Look. I tell my children all the time, I say, knowing about God is different from knowing God. When you know about God, you can get in a jam and you know what to do. And you make all these problems. But knowing God means that you do the stuff that don't get you in the jam, right? I tell them all the time. I say, yeah, you know about God, but you got to get to know God, right? That's why we around the table, right? Because we want to get to know God a little better, right? Jesus said when the devil tempted him, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God.
Well, it's just like kids,
Oh yeah, oh they got the good talk, yeah.
They forget that God keeps his promises.
Right.
He promised them a lot of things, but they don't.
God seems to take a long time to fulfill his word. But a lot of times, as we're seeing here, that's because we are not acting right. You know what I'm saying?
And we don't know the plan that God has for us.
If God tells us the plan, see, we're all on this journey, right? We're all on this journey. Where are we trying to get to? We're trying to get to the promised land. And we are going through the wilderness, right? And God is teaching each and every one of us how to listen to him, how to obey him, how to do what he says do. And just like the Israelites, we don't do it all the time. Now, Moses was the man, and he had done it 99 out of 100 times. And he messed up one time, right? Which is great, which is a great average in my mind, because I have messed up more than one time. Right? I've fallen. I have fallen in the same trap more than once. Yes, ma'am.
You should have seen what happened with Aaron. You know, Aaron is dead, and Aaron is dead because.
Yeah. But see, the people don't know. I don't think the people knew why Aaron was dying, right? And the way Aaron died, that was pretty tough, because God told him, y'all gonna go up to the mountain and you not coming back down. You gonna die right up there on the mountain. You know, you thinking about, oh, you know, you don't never know when your time is gonna come and this and that and other. Aaron knew exactly what was happening. He said, you, your son, and Moses, y'all going up to the mountain. We taking your clothes off, your high priest robes off. We putting them on your son. Moses and your son gonna come back down. You are dying right there on the mountain. Tells them, this is your time. That's a very stressful thing for us to know, that is our time. But everyone that I have ever seen go through a long illness, and it's not like a whole lot of people, but they all come to grips at the end. Right at the end, they come to grips with, it's the time. And I'm okay with it, right? I can go. Hey, just, I love you, do this, do that, because I'm out. It's time. My grandmother, my uncle, my first wife. I haven't seen a lot, everybody, but all of them, right before the end, they comatose, can't talk. They wake up, they're talking, they saying, hey, see you later, I'm out of here, I'm about to go. With my grandmother, she was saying goodbye. We got in the car to come back. We were in North Carolina, we got in the car to come back to DC. They called us on the road, she's gone. You know what I'm saying? She's gone. We just got the encouragement. Oh, she woke up, she's looking better, she's talking, she's gone. Uncle, the same thing. My first wife, same thing. She woke up on a Thursday. Everybody showed up. Hey, I love you. See, who is so-and-so here? Yeah, come by. Oh, I love you. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Saturday, she was gone. So everybody I've seen, they seem to make their peace with going. It seems hard for me to think about doing that. So I don't know what goes on. But Aaron went up to that mountain. You ain't had to drag, I'm thinking, man, you might have to drag me up that mountain. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't have to drag him up the mountain.
So you're saying that Aaron went without kicking and screaming?
Yeah.
Just ready to go.
God said, hey, it's your time to go. You getting ready to go. And Aaron seemed okay with it. And he walked up that mountain like, I say like a gangster. Hey, I'm ready to go. Right? But anyway, we digress. These people are still complaining, right? They just made a vow with the God. God heard them, kept his promise. They kept theirs. Now they complaining. So let's see what the Lord does, because they are complaining again. Let's see, verse 6. Let's go through verse 9. Verse 6 down to verse 10.
Then the Lord sent poisonous serpents among the people, and they bit the people so that many Israelites died. The people came to Moses and said, "We have sinned by speaking against the Lord and against you. Pray to the Lord to take away the serpents from us." So Moses prayed for the people. And the Lord said to Moses, "Make a poisonous serpent and set it on a pole, and everyone who is bitten shall look at it and live." So Moses made a serpent of bronze and put it upon a pole. And whenever a serpent bit someone, that person would look at the serpent of bronze and live.
Okay. All right. So they believe that. Look. They complain against God and Moses and God, and they realize we have sinned. We want to repent. So God gives them a way to repent, right? You don't have to bring no bull. You don't have to sacrifice nothing. You just gotta look in a certain direction. Look at something. So now the snakes are still there. God didn't say, "Okay, I'm gonna get rid of the snakes." He says, "No, the snakes are there, and when you get bit, you got to turn and look at the symbol I done set up for you. You turn and look, you're going to be all right." And don't you know that's what they did? Did nobody say, "Man, that sounds foolish. I need a doctor. I need some herbs. I need some medicine. I need some anti-venom." Right? They didn't do none of that. They like, "Hey, I got bit. Oh man, you got bit. You better look." And they made every effort they could to look so they could live. Right? They believed God with the cure. God gave them the cure. They believe God for the cure. They don't believe him for his provision. They don't believe him for the other stuff. God says this is the cure. They believe that. Right? Boy, the people we are. I got to count myself among these kind of people, but they are going. I guess I did go a long time, but
Back in Genesis, when they talk about the stiff-necked people.
Oh yeah. They just didn't want to change. No, I don't want to look to the left or the right. I don't know. Yeah. And that's and we can be that way. We can be that way. We have to work towards, and reading this helps me to know not to fall into this trap. If God is, look, if I'm thinking we should be going this way, and God is saying go that way, you know what? I'm gonna go that way with everybody else. I'm gonna go that way, right? All right. The journey to Moab. All right, let's read. Let's see. Woo. That is verse 10. Okay, it's a lot of names in this. Just to warn you. So let's read about verse 10 through 20. Yeah. It's a lot of names.
In the boundary
overlooks the wasteland. That's enough. I did say it was a lot of names in that thing, right? Now, why did I say the names are in there? That's so the Israelites, the Jews, can trace their lineage back and follow the path, because they have those the Torah, and they got a lot more information in that Torah than we have in our Bible. Only certain books got put in the Bible, but they have a lot more history that they can trace their lineage and the journeys and all that. So these things are put in there to help them be able to trace that lineage, right? Interesting thing. I had heard Moab before. Where have we heard Moab before? Right? And I didn't realize where we had heard Moab, but I was like, Moab? Seems like I know that name, right? It was in Genesis or Exodus or something, right? So let me tell you how I do the class. I read these scriptures. I read ahead three scriptures, right? And every week I go over the scripture we're going to do. I mean the chapter we're going to do, and I read three ahead. So I have time to check some of these things out, right? Now back in Genesis, and I'm going to go back there real quick. Genesis chapter 25, and I think this is the place where I had seen it. No, this is not the place I had seen it. Okay, so we're gonna table that, because I don't write. I check these things, but I don't write them down all the time. So I apologize to you in the class. I will come at it next time. But Moab, Moab, as I believe, is another relative to Israel, right? Moab. But I will enlighten you more next time, because I don't have that bookmarked, unfortunately. My bad. Okay, we're down to 20. But during this time, right, there was no complaining. They traveled to a couple of different places, right? And there was no complaining, right? They went from place to place to place to place, place to place, place to place. Evidently, they needed water, and they wasn't complaining that they needed water. And God said, hey, look, let's stop over here at this well, because I'm going to give them water, right? So, the thinking for me was, hey, maybe these people have learned a little something. Maybe they have grown a little bit, right? Because obviously they, from the rock water to now, they were running low. Countries weren't letting them go through. They couldn't buy the water. They couldn't do anything, right? They traveling around places, and they couldn't get the things they need. All right, but here we go again. Verse 21 through, this is long. We don't want to go that far. You said if you do 26, I trust you, Elder Dorsey. So we're gonna go from 21 through 26, and let's see what kind of enlightenment we can get from that. All right, anybody who wants to read?
Then they went, you said 21?
21, yes, ma'am.
Oh, I see. Israel sent messengers to say to Sihon, king of the Amorites, let us pass through your country. We will not turn aside into any field or vineyard or drink water from any well. We will travel along the king's highway until we have passed through your territory. But Sihon would not let Israel pass through his territory. He mustered his entire army and marched out into the desert against Israel. When he reached Jahaz, he fought with Israel. Israel, however, put him to the sword and took over his land from the Arnon to the Jabbok, but only as far as the Ammonites, because their border was fortified. Israel captured all the cities of the Amorites and occupied them, including Heshbon and all its surrounding settlements. Heshbon was the city of Sihon, Sihon, king of the Amorites, who had fought against the former king of Moab, and had taken from him all his land as far as the Arnon. That is why the poets say, how far am I reading?
Okay, you can stop there. You can stop there. Again, they asked to go through another country, and the country says no. But unlike before, when the army from the other country came, they engaged them. When Edom came, they turned away and going around Edom. Okay, you're not gonna let us go. We're gonna go around, right? This time, and look. Don't think that the other countries don't hear about these things, right? So now they're asking, can we go through your country? And that country is going to do like Edom did, right? We going to send our army, and y'all probably going to turn around and go, right? Well, they sent the army. This time, the army was engaged, and the Israel nation won the day, right? They won. They beat them. They took over. They took over their land all the way from this part to this part, right? Bordering on the fortified part. Because look, Israel is in the wilderness. None of the countries fortified the wilderness because nobody wanted to be in the wilderness, right? Their cities were set up. They fortified their cities where the people lived and all that stuff. They owned the rest of the land, but the rest of the land was swamp land, right? You know, us in the country, we got 50 acres in the country, but half of it is swamp land, so we only using 25 acres, right? You know what I'm saying? Oh, she's saying it had failed. Yeah. Okay. So look. Yeah, we putting the houses on the good land, we putting the fences around it, and we got, we telling people who come on our land, don't go outside the gate because that's swamp land, right? We only go out there when we want to have fun, shoot some ducks, some geese or something, you got to get specially prepared going to swamp land. They don't go into the wilderness, right? So Israelites took over all the land that was wilderness, right? When they came up upon the fortified part, hey, they stopped. Okay, we're not gonna fight the fortified part. But they took over all that land. What they need all this wilderness land for? They don't need the wilderness land. These people attacked them. Right? As kids say to me all the time at the summer camp, I was defending myself. Right? Now, and I tell them, defending yourself is different from fighting, right? The Israelites fought and they took the land. I don't understand why just yet. God didn't tell me why they was taking all this land, right? Well, I mean, they didn't come to take the land. They came to ask if we could just pass through. We just wanted to pass through. They said, no, you can't pass through, and we're going to send our armies to keep you from passing through. Well, see, these are the Amorites. Let me go back and see if the Amorites might be related to Israel. These people are related. Going back to Genesis 25, what I found in Genesis 25 is that after Sarah passed away, Abram married somebody else and had a bunch of kids.
Well, maybe the Bible says that they won because the Israelites had so many more people than the Amorites.
Yeah. And we're gonna see this later on in the chapter or the next chapter. I get confused because, like I said, I read 3 chapters ahead. We're going to see this later on. The Israelites have many more people, even though they're getting hit by plagues. Snakes are biting them. The earth is swallowing them up. They get burnt up, and even though God is doing all of that, their nation is bigger and larger than the other nations, right? That's what. Yes, sir. Oh.
I see in the notes that thus Israel dwelt in the land of the Amorites. The land of the Amorites later became the possession of Israel. The tribe of Gad and the half tribe of Manasseh lived in this land.
Lived in the land.
So
Right.
maybe that was
Eventually,
prepared.
eventually, they're going to have all of that, right? Eventually, the Israelites are going to take all of that, right? Because it's their land. You know, it's their land. Isaac was the chosen son. No matter how many other sons Abraham had, and he had a few, Isaac was the one. Isaac gave the blessing to Jacob, whose name got changed to Israel. Israel's going to claim all of that. And all these relatives, you know, from all the kids, Abraham's kids, they didn't go to Egypt. Israel left the land to go to Egypt. Remember, in the famine.
Yeah.
They grew really big and strong because they had food. This is why they love Egypt so much. They had food, they had water, they had all this stuff. Everybody else was in a famine. You understand? So they didn't grow, they shrunk. And then by the time the famine was over, Israel Joseph had set them up with the best land, the best stuff, and they grew really big. Grew so big, Egypt got scared. That's the story, right? They grew really big, Egypt got scared. These other people didn't have the great land. They had good land, some of it was good, some of it was wilderness. They didn't grow as big. Israel grew astoundingly big, giant. So even though God is killing 15,000 people at a time, they still have a lot of people.
But, it just seems that all the things that God has done to save them in situations, seems like by now they would halfway understand that God is for them, but they act like he's not. And they keep on doing it. I mean, you can be wrong once, twice, three times, but keep on being wrong, but God is still seeking it. That should give them sense enough to know that God is with them. He's sticking with them.
And like I said, I think they're starting to get it, right? In one passage, the passage we read right before this, they moved like 4 different places. And we didn't read nothing about them complaining or anything, right? No, right? And they stopped at the well. The Lord said, "Stop at the well." The people needed water, right? So, and this is what I used to tell my kids. I said, your job is not to play and avoid work. Your job is to work and study. My job is to come and break you from that and say, "Hey, look, it's time to take a break, right? Let's go have some fun." I said, you looking to have fun all the time. And I got to come and make you work. But in actuality, you're supposed to do the work, and I'm supposed to come and let you know, hey, you're working too hard, it's too rough. I'm supposed to give you the time out so you can go and we can go have some fun, right? God, these people got up and moved. When God said move, they sat down. When God said sit down, they drank up all the water they had got from the rock. They didn't complain. They ain't say nothing to Moses. They didn't do nothing. We not going to elect no new leader. They didn't say we going back to Egypt. They didn't do none of that. God said, look, it's time to refill all the canteens. We're going to stop at the well. This well's going to spring up. And they sang this. They were singing a song. Oh, the wells are going to come, and they're going to spring up, and we're going to get all the water we need, right? Because they were starting to expect God's provision. This is what I'm seeing, right? These people are actually starting to get it. But why are they getting it? Half the complainers might be dead. You know what I'm saying? The old generation is dying out, and the new generation is getting it. This is how we living. We living from provision to provision, right? Some people say paycheck to paycheck. We living paycheck to paycheck. Hey, you're getting the paycheck, right? We act like that's bad, but hey, you're getting a paycheck and you're still living. You're in the wilderness. They living from provision to provision. We get this. We live till we get this. We live until we get this. This new generation is starting to get it, right? I'm thinking less complaining. You know what?
They're living by the grace of God, and maybe they are.
Maybe they are. We go look. The story is still going on. This is the story that's still going on. But what I'm saying is, right now, the Bible is showing that hey, these guys might be getting it, right? Might be getting it. You know, the last complaint. You know, the last complaint was the snakes. God sent the snakes. God sent the snakes. And after that, I ain't heard no more complaints. So maybe they're getting it. We're going to keep reading. We're going to keep reading. All right. Where do we stop? We got 10 minutes left. Okay, verse 27 through, we're gonna start at 28? Okay, let's start at 28 and go on down. Okay, let's not start at 28. Let's start back up at 20. Let's start at 26 so we can get that flow going. Yeah, you read that part, but yeah, but we, you know, they doing a poem, and you know, people might want to understand why this poem is going on. 26. Yeah.
For Heshbon was the city of Sihon, king of the Amorites, who had fought against the former king of Moab, and had taken all his land from his hand as far as the Arnon. Therefore, those who speak in Proverbs say, "Come to Heshbon, let it be built, let the city of Sihon be repaired. For fire went out from Heshbon, a flame from the city of Sihon. It consumed Ar of Moab, the lords of the heights of Arnon. Woe to you, Moab! You have perished, O people of Shenosh. He has given his sons as fugitives, and his daughters into captivity, to Sihon, king of the Amorites. But we have shot at them. Heshbon has perished as far as Dibon. Then we laid waste as far as Nophah, which reaches to Medeba. Thus Israel dwelt in the land of the Amorites. Then Moses sent to spy out.
Okay, let's stop right there. So Israel settled in the land of the Amorites. All right. So they made a little poem so that they could record this for prosperity. This is why they do these things, right? The Amorites took the land from Moab. And then we came along and we took it from the Amalekites, and we are so happy, man. We following God, and God has given us victory, and everything is good. And now we got a place to live, you know, and all this type stuff. And you know, we not nomads and traveling around. We done took this land. We are so happy. And Moab wouldn't let us come through, but heck, we done took some of the land that got took from them. All right, so they happy, and this and look, and it further affirms that these people are starting to get it, right? They getting victory, right? We talk about the child of God. We live in victory, right? We don't live in defeat. We live in victory. They're getting victory after victory, right? Building their confidence for, and I dare say, for when they get back to the promised land and those enemies are still there, right? They gaining some momentum. They're listening to God. They're trusting God a little more. Hey, they got to get into. They avoided. Look, they went into one fight without God, got beat down. The next fight, we gonna turn and go around, right? The next fight they won. This fight they won. They started, oh man, this God thing, following God, this is some good stuff, right? Yeah, we got to fight, but we get victory. They around singing songs and making poems, and we got the victory, right? Because they happy, right? Yeah, look, don't see no more complainers. They are beating people left and right, right? Enemies that they don't even know they have. They're politely asking, hey, can we use this? Can we go here? Can we do that? And these people are saying no, and I'm ready to fight. Jumping them, and they are getting victory. All right. So Israel settled in the land of the Amorites. All right. Let's read down to the end. We got 5 more minutes left.
Then we laid waste as far as Nophah, which reaches to Medeba. Thus Israel dwelt in the land of the Amorites.
Okay.
Then Moses sent to spy out Jazer, and they took its villages and drove out the Amorites who were there.
Keep going.
And they turned and went up by the way of Bashan. So Og, king of Bashan, went out against them, he and all his people, to battle at Edrei. Then the Lord said to Moses, do not fear him, for I have delivered him into your hand, with all his people and his land. And you shall do to him as you did to Sihon, king of the Amorites, who dwelt at Heshbon. So they defeated him, his sons, and all his people, until there was no survivor left until there was no survivor left him, and they took possession of the land.
All right. Now, I'm going to talk to multimedia about getting us a map, an old style map to go up there to find out where these places are. But now the Israelites are taking land, they getting victories, they singing songs, they loving being with God. They're not complaining about the wilderness no more. Now the people who complain, who are the people that complain about the wilderness? The people who came out of Egypt, right? Egypt, they were in slavery, but the land was good. They had it good. They didn't want to be in slavery. They wanted freedom, but they still had it better than the wilderness. They thought they had something to look back on. This new generation, they have been living in the wilderness. And God has been providing for them. And they are ready to do what God says do. Right? They are ready to live up to that vow that they made back in Mount, that the other people made about, we are your people, God. You tell us what to do, we're going to do it. So now this army comes up to them, and the army might look a little fierce. So God said, hey, Moses, don't be afraid of this, right? I got this. These people, I too will deliver it into your hands, and you will take that land. Yes.
So maybe you're right about them getting closer, because the last paragraph in our notes shows why all this occurred.
All that, okay. See, I don't get the notes in advance, ladies and gentlemen.
And it's a good paragraph. God is showing us that His grace and mercy are sufficient.
Right.
The people were not saved. The people were saved not by doing anything, but by simply looking into the bronze serpent. Remember,
Right.
They had to trust that something, that a symbol was enough to save them. Our symbol is the cross, as it says in Isaiah. Look to me and be saved, all you ends of the earth. For I am God and there's no other. We might be willing to do 100 things to earn our salvation, but
Trust in him and look to him.
Maybe they are.
Well, you would expect them to get better because the complainers are dying off. It's not going to say, these many thousand died and these many people died, but they're going from place to place to place to place to place, and now it's a new generation taking the lead. New generation is taking the lead, right? God has already said, look, what was God's new plan? They wouldn't go in the first time. Well, y'all going to go there, and y'all going to go through some stuff, and all y'all complainers are going to die. The whole generation is going to die out, and I'm going to bring the new generation into the promised land. So this is how it's going. This new generation is learning to trust God. They're growing up in the wilderness. They don't remember Egypt. You see what I'm saying? They were less than 20, so they at the most they 19, 17, 18, 19 years old when they left Egypt. So they don't know Egypt like the old generation know Egypt, right? They know the wilderness better than they know Egypt. And they know in the wilderness that the only way they are surviving is through the provision of God. God's grace and mercy. And they are getting attacked for no